cow's milk. Hey y'all, you know, I had a hillbilly. He gave me this, not a challenge, what is it called? The 5-question, whatever it is. And I want to thank him for putting me in on this deal. Give me the shout out for this 5-question thingy, whatever it's called. Because you know what? Since he released that video, I mean, it's last time I checked 4 hours ago, I'd already gained like 20 subscribers, and that's really awesome. So anyway, there's 5 questions that he asked, and you know, I thought Idaho Hillbilly, when he answered the questions, I'm like, why am I doing this? Because my answers are really close to pretty much the same as his. But anyway, here are the 5 questions. Why do you garden? Well, I want to talk about when I was growing up as a kid. I thought gardening was a punishment. Have to get on out there and do the weeding and stuff. Man, I tell you what, I hated gardening as a kid. Couldn't stand it at all. The one thing that I did look forward to on the gardening when I was a kid, when we were in the hot days, I'm down in Redding, California. It gets hot. I can remember days as a child growing up and it being 120 degrees on out. It blistered the bottom of your feet, and we went barefoot everywhere, even on the pavement. But I'll tell you what, we didn't stand on the pavement. But anyway, at the end of the day, after a good hot day of hoeing and weeding out in the garden and all that stuff, my mom, she would load us up in the, we had a Volkswagen van at that time. And I don't know how many of y'all have been in those in extreme heat or extreme cold. I mean, they don't have any good air conditioning or no good heater in those things. They're miserable vans as a kid. But she'd load us all up in that van, and we'd either go down to the river to go swimming, or we'd go down over to Whiskey Town Lake and go swimming at either Oak Bottom or I can't remember the name of the other one. But anyway, she would take us swimming in the heat of the day. And that I remember looking forward to. So when I'm out in the garden, I remember those good times of going swimming. I also remember with the garden that we would get in trouble, and sometimes we weren't allowed to eat dinner. But my mom had a policy that, well, just because you weren't allowed to come on inside and eat the cooked dinner that she had prepared, didn't mean that we couldn't go out to the garden and pick our own fresh vegetables and eat it. And Miss Kitty, when you mentioned them beefsteak tomatoes, oh, a nice, warm, fresh picked out from the garden beefsteak tomato. They are so awesome. I mean, oh man. My tongue's just having an orgasm just thinking about, you know, the taste of the taste of those tomatoes. Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much why I garden. It's just the memories from the old days. And the flavor of the foods that you can't get at the store, even if you buy organic, you know. I mean, if you buy organic, nah, it ain't there. They're still growing in greenhouses and picked when they're green, you know, and they're not, then they ripen them. They're not sun ripened on the vine, on the plant. You know, they bring them in a warehouse so they'll all ripen all at one time. Yeah, they're grown organically. They're grown on a tomato vine out in a garden, plucked when they're green and hung up in a warehouse. Yeah, it's not the same. So anyway, the next question. Why do you do YouTube? Now that's a tough question. I don't know why I do it. I don't make much money from it, although I'm enjoying watching the piggy bank grow. It is still it. I'm enjoying watching my piggy bank grow. That's all I consider it to be. But, you know, I mean, I've given a few people in the past a hard time on YouTube. And I read their comments to other people and stuff. You know what? Until you make videos, why don't you just shut up? I thought, okay, well, if you can make videos, I can too. I'll show you what I can do. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a growing road for me. That's why I make videos. So I'd have a reason so I could voice out my opinions. And still be heard. I've learned on doing YouTube videos, one of the biggest things that I've learned on doing the YouTube videos is I might give a suggestion before I did YouTube videos. I might give somebody a suggestion telling them something. But with the video that they showed me, that they played for us all to watch, what's not there is the hidden scenes, the parts that they didn't show. There's a lot of stuff that is left on out. So I'm not as quick to be judgmental, you know, on it, because I don't know the rest of the story. They've only shown me a portion of the story. And I've learned that on YouTube. But the reason why I do YouTube still and continue doing YouTube is it brings me entertainment. I just enjoy doing it. Question number 3. And by the way, these glasses do magnify my writing to help me be able to read it, but my writing is pretty well scribbled, so it still doesn't make it where I can really read it very good. How long have you been gardening? Well, I'm going to tell y'all, I've had gardens for large portions of my life, but there's been portions of my life for 2 or 3 years at a time where I wouldn't have a garden. Maybe it was because of moving, etc. But I always have had access to a garden. Since we've lived here for approximately 25 years on this place, approximately, give or take a year or two, most of the time we've had a garden during that time. There's been a couple of years when I was working, it was just too hectic, too busy for me to have a garden. So there's been a few years when I didn't have a garden. But for the most part, we've always had a garden here. Hasn't always been a successful garden, but for the most part, we've always had a garden here. What do you grow? Well, there again, I'm with Idaho Hillbilly. You got to grow tomatoes. I mean, that's a must. Tomatoes, that's the one thing that you just can't get at any store that just has that flavor. But I also love growing summer squash. Making pickles out of summer squash. Sweet pickles, dill pickles, you know, slice them up into chips and make some pickles out of them to have in sandwiches. Grow it and make a sweet relish. Grow it to make banana or zucchini bread. And I love summer squash. Just slice it and fry it in butter and onions in the frying pan. Don't even need to put meat to it. I mean, that's just, you know, fried summer squash with onions and butter. Oh man, put a little salt and pepper on there. Awesome. It's tough to beat. And I like growing my green beans and radishes. Oh man, I tell you what. By the way, folks, on the radishes, I don't remember whose channel was that told me. I think, oh yeah, it was Praxis. The Praxis channel. I'll try to remember to put his link down below. I ain't going to challenge him to this too. He's too big of a channel. He probably wouldn't even get my message if I left one to him. But he's an awesome channel. Really knows his gardening stuff. But anyway, a video of his that I watched of his, he was talking about if you let your radishes, go to seed, you just let them grow on up, and they'll grow tons of little pods on them. And you pick those green pods on off and eat them, and the pods don't have near the bite that the radish does. If the radish has got a really, a bite to them that you don't like, the pods still taste like radishes, but they don't have that bite. They're nice and sweet. And they are fantastic to throw in your stir fries. And they're fantastic just to eat by themselves. I mean, those little pods they're tasty. So that's what we do with most of our radishes now. Most of our radishes, because I ain't got teeth no more. The only way I can eat radishes is if I grate them on up, put them in a coleslaw or something, which is really good. But I love radish pods. I gotta have those ever since I learned that last year from practice. This last year was the first time I grew it, and I tell you what, I ain't gonna miss growing radish pods from here on out. Well, there's a number of, I don't know. It's just fresh vegetables from the garden is just so tasty, and we really do enjoy putting up quite a bit of our own food from the garden. Not that we need it, not that I'm afraid of what's to come or anything else. I'm sure something could happen in the future, but we grow the garden for self-satisfaction, self-enjoyment. And when we're out in the garden doing this stuff, it does bring back memories. Let's see here. Next question. What is your favorite thing to grow? I think I just answered that. I think that number 5 was already answered with what I was just talking about, all that stuff. It'd have to be tomatoes is my favorite thing to grow, but also the radish pods and the summer squash. I mean, I just find it awesome. And one of the favorite things that I like to do is in the fall is open up the fence, let the deer on in, and do some more harvesting. Now, the biggest question is, who am I going to challenge? Are y'all ready for this? This is who I'm going to tag. The first person I'm going to tag is a guy I really enjoy his channel a lot. By the way, the top of the list would be Idaho Hillbilly, but he already done it, so I can't tag him. Unfortunately. I could try. Well, maybe Idaho Hillbilly, I'll put you at the first of the list. Let's see if I can tag you one more time. So I want to tag 6 different people. I want to tag Idaho Hillbilly, which will also, with that list, when I put that tag on there, you'll just be able to go back to his channel and you'll see his answer to these 5 questions. So, but he's number 1 person that I've already tagged, and he already done his tag. So the other 5 people I want to tag is Bobblehead Homestead, Cecil Skinner. Yeah, that guy's got a great deal. He doesn't do a whole lot of gardening videos, but he does some gardening stuff. But he's got a great channel, and he does have some videos talking about gathering off the land, different stuff that they gather, and he took a gutter. Put it all along the fence, and then he uses that for his planter for growing onions in and stuff. He has some interesting gardening stuff. So, Cecil E Skinner, consider yourself tagged. The next person is, and I'm not so sure that they will take this or not, but that would be Willow Creek Homestead. Now that's a cool family to watch. And they do gardening, they do rabbits, they've done rabbits, or they still do rabbits, goats, they've had cows. By the way, if you haven't seen their video where Dad, I don't remember his name offhand, but where Dad did the video where the cow was giving birth to the calf, that video was awesome. That's, of all the videos, every video that I've ever watched on YouTube, that's got to be in my top 5 list. I mean, that video, if you haven't seen him, that video of him helping give birth to that calf, and he's a complete novice at it. And at the end of it, he sits down and does a real heart-to-heart talk about it. It's just a mind blower just listening to his talk, and it's awesome. Y'all got to check that on out. But Willow Creek, you're tagged. Third person, Mapleberry Farms. Now, I do believe that Mapleberry Farms in the past, I think they grew up doing gardening and different stuff. And I think that he might have already done this tag, but I'm still putting him in the tag again. I'm going to look, and if he's already done the tag, then I'll just post his, on his deal, I'll post his down where he's done the tag. I can't remember, but I think he's done the tag, but I'm tagging him. But he's getting ready to start. He just got out of the Canadian military, and he's just starting his homestead journey. And the last person on my list is a new person to the homestead world. Well, not to the world, or to the homestead community, but he's a new person at homesteading, and he hasn't had the opportunity to really start his gardening yet. But he will be starting to garden, and I don't know if it'll be this year, because he's got a lot of stuff that he's got to do. But it's Bobblehead Homestead. Yeah, Bobblehead, Peoria dude, as he is otherwise known. Jeff, if you want to change those questions around, I'm not familiar with your history in life, if you've done gardening before, or if you're just starting your journey. You know, then just rephrase the questions to me the best for you. Why would you garden? You know, just change it to where, you know, questions about how you would take the gardening in the future and what you think of all this stuff. You know, just make the questions work for you. Anyway. That's my 5 questions, and that's my 5 tags. Just remember, folks, if the girls don't find you handsome like me, they can find you handy like me. And if they don't find you handy like me, just pray that they find you. Y'all come back now, yeah. Bye. I gotta have more of that.
Yeah, y'all come back now here. Now, if the women can't find you handy, or they can't find you good looking like me, just pray that they find you. And that's all I got to say about that. Y'all come back now. You hear?